Welcome to 5 and 5 with Miller and Mango, your go-to source for all things finance with a twist of culture infused into every episode. Join your hosts, seasoned financial professional Miller and marketing maverick Mango, as they discuss 5 of the latest market and cultural trends and help you instill common sense into the ever-changing landscape of finance, all within 5 minutes. It's time to dive into the numbers, unravel market mysteries, and discover the strategies that matter. Welcome to 5 and 5 with Miller and Mango.
Hello and welcome to 5 and 5 with Miller and Mango. I am your host, Mike Manganello, with my co-host, Miller Hoffman. Miller, what's going on?
Good morning, good morning. I'm excited to get to it.
All right, we'll jump right into it. Let's try to make this one quick. Let's try to make it within 5 minutes.
Let's stick to 5 in 5.
Right. This week, Target came out and said they're actually lowering prices in 5,000 of their frequently bought items due to the rising inflation. This is the first I'm kind of seeing of this. I think there's been other price adjustments. I think we talked about based on kind of supply and demand. I think Wendy's was doing something. But this is the first big corporation saying we're going to lower some prices because we know things are hard out there.
Yeah, and I think the headline catches a lot of people's attention in a very favorable way. I think this is a response or a reflection, rather, of the size and scale that Target has, right? They're able to drop these prices. They are large enough. They command enough of an audience to be able to do this, which may be starkly different than some small businesses or mom and pop stores. So maybe it's just, the bigger companies keep on getting bigger because they're able to control more of the kind of the market share of what the grocery industry looks like. But I've said it before on the podcast here, Mango, but I'll say it again. Continue to view inflation as a rate of change. It's naturally going to increase what pricing looks like. Things are not going to get lower in terms of cost. They just may slow down, which we're seeing in terms of how quickly they're increasing in terms of price. So keep that in mind as we set realistic expectations for the summer and beyond.
And I think the way I look at that is it's really smart from a marketing and brand standpoint because, I think those household items honestly probably are in line with a Walmart now. So they might be getting that audience that most likely go to Walmart to buy those household items that might go to Target, because it's 10 cents different now.
Yeah.
So I think it makes sense. It's smart for them right before the summertime as well.
Definitely. We live in a convenience culture, so if you can just go to one store and get what you need at fair prices, why not?
So the big news in the financial services market, the stock market last week, the Dow Jones closed above 40,000 for the first time ever. How excited? Did you throw a party?
We threw a big party.
You're a big S&P guy, but let's talk about the Dow.
I am a big. I do think the S&P 500 reflects the American markets better, and I want to break down what even is the Dow and what does this mean that it's crossed 40,000. It's a great headline. It looks great on paper, and of course, people in the industry have an idea of what that is. But Mango, the Dow is an index, or think of it as a benchmark of 30 American companies. The point of the Dow, what it has been, and I think what they attempt for it to be now, is a good cross-section of American industries. So you got technology companies, you got industrials, you got pharmaceuticals. It's meant to try to gauge the heartbeat of America. However, it's inherently limited, I'd say, just by including 30 companies. And it's also just based on the price of the share of the company, not necessarily how large the company is itself. So that's something that's very different with the Dow than a lot of the other indices out there, like the S&P 500, which weights itself based on how large the company is, not necessarily what its share price actually is. So this rewards long-term investors. If you have been invested in the American markets at large, you have benefited greatly over the past couple years. But if you're choosing to get in the market out or speculate or guess when things are going to be good or not so good, you may have missed a long portion of the increase that we've seen to 40,000.
Are we going to get to 50?
We're easily going to get to 50,000. We have a member on our team here that says we'll see Dow 100,000.
Oh, wow.
At some point. Now with the sheer numbers that we're seeing right now, it's going to be easier to eclipse 10,000 and then 20,000 and then 25,000. It's going to be easier and easier to hit those high marks than it was, from 100 to 1,000. That took years, decades for us to get to that point.
Dow versus Bitcoin. We'll see what happens in next year. Who's going to get to that 100K first?
It's a horse race.
All right. A recent report said that there are more Americans that are turning 65 this year than ever before. And they say this is the start. I mean, this is the age that's just going to be, we're going to be breaking records every year.
Right.
What does that mean? Well, I mean, what does that mean? I know this brings into annuities and different financial products. What does that mean for the financial services?
I think this is not so good news for a lot of public assistance or like public benefits. Think of things like Medicare, Social Security, certain pension programs. We clearly have an aging population in this country. It's not a big surprise, right? We've been hearing the boomers are going to be retiring and transferring wealth. Now we've been hearing that for a long time. But this is going to continue to put a lot of stress on, the programs I just mentioned, the Social Securities of the world, which is always in the news about being insolvent in the next handful of years. Medicare is a massive portion of our country's budget, which I think folks only anticipate that increasing. So I think a lot of people are going to be exposed to how little they've actually saved for retirement. The statistics are staggering, Mango. Even folks in their 50s, 60s preparing for that quintessential retirement period for a lot of people. It's staggering how little people actually have saved for retirement. So I think that scares me a bit more just with my professional bias, I think, of how ill-prepared a lot of people are.
So start saving early and see a financial planner.
Start saving early. Time is an irreplaceable commodity, if I could label it that way. And pre-retirees and those newly retired do not have time on their side anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you have probably 40 years. I probably have 20, so we'll leave it at that.
That's right. Got to make best use of the good time.
All right. Well, people listening to this probably today or tomorrow will know that we are about to hit the unofficial start of summer, Memorial Day.
Here it comes.
Just want to know your thought. Like, what's your favorite memories of summer, Memorial Day? What are you excited about coming up?
Gosh, we spent so much time on the water growing up and even now. So I'm a big lake guy. My parents have a wonderful lake house. So we are planning to spend a ton of time there, whether it's boating, just swimming, just being around the water, fishing. I mean, you name it. So I think that helps us beat the heat a little bit too. And in South Carolina and in North Carolina, the heat and humidity gets rough during the dog days of summer. You got to have some way to cool off. How about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. We're going to some friends' lake house this weekend. I'll say the one point that I don't look forward to as the unofficial start of summer is actual summer because I have 2 young kids, which means no school, which means
school's out.
Daycare and camps for the next 8 weeks. So there is that balance of a reality check, but also very excited to, similar, try to get to some type of water, hang out, maybe drink a little more beers here and there, but always enjoyable. Looking forward to it.
Love it. Stay
hydrated. I feel like the sun's out, people are happier. So I'm excited about that as well.
I think so too. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
All right. Our favorite subject, explaining to me like a 4th grader, which is going to change next semester when it becomes a 5th grader.
Aha.
So
we're graduating.
Little bigger topics.
Moving on up.
I noticed recently a lot more of credit ads. What's a credit score and why are there so many commercials encouraging us to check our credit? What's the benefit to that?
Yeah, credit is just one of those core topics or traits you have as an individual that really can unlock a ton of doors, but it can also slam doors right in your face depending on your credit. So let's start with what is credit, and a lot of viewers may already have an idea, but credit is the overall industry's way of gauging your credit worthiness as a lendee. So if you approach a bank or another institution to borrow money, whether it be a student loan, a mortgage, a car, a credit card, you name it, they are going to look at something called your credit. How good have you been in the past with credit? How long have you used credit? Do you make your payments on time? Do you max cards out and then pay them all off? Or how much are you using of your available credit? All of those are important components to how you get your credit score. Mango, there are 3 main credit agencies, and they all are really attempting to pinpoint what your credit worthiness is. You have Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. All 3 of them are attempting, again, to try to gauge what your credit worthiness is and then reflect that to the banks or the lending institutions of the world. So my grandfather infamously said, and it's something that's been passed down in my family, you let everything go before you let your credit go. So it's very important. Sometimes talking heads and figures would disagree and say you should just pay cash for everything anyway. That may be great, but we do live in a credit-based society, and some of the larger purchases you're not able. Or the vast majority of people are not able to just pay in cash. So very, very important that you know what your credit is, know what affects it. But then very careful around scams or companies attempting to get money out of you to fix your credit or increase your score or whatever the.
So, but what's the benefit to like a Credit Karma, right? So I guess a third party in some sense. Do you have to as a consumer? Do I pay to get my credit score? Like, is that what they're trying to get you to do?
What a lot of them will do, Mango, is offer a paid service and they'll monitor your credit for you.
Okay.
Or suggest different things you can do to increase your score. And even the big three agencies I just mentioned actually offer those programs too. So it's a bit of a conflict of interest if you ask me. They're advertising your score for you, but also kind of, hey, pay us some money and we'll figure out how to increase that score or maybe artificially. So yeah, I mean, it's commercials. I mean, paid ads online. I mean, things I've heard them on podcasts before. I mean, it must be pretty profitable because they're marketing it pretty hard.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah. That's credit for you.
There you go. Well, everybody enjoy your long Memorial Day weekend. I hope you're listening to us on a drive to the beach or the lake, and we will be back in June.
Enjoy your summer, everyone.
Take care.
TradeWinds LLC is an investment advisory firm that is registered with the Securities Exchange Commission. Registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training. TradeWinds will not accept trade offers online, and any such request, orders, or instructions that you send will not be accepted and will not be processed. This presentation has been provided for informational purposes only and is not intended as legal, tax, or investment advice or a recommendation of any particular security or strategy. The investment strategy and themes discussed herein may be unsuitable for investors depending on their specific investment objectives and financial situation. Information obtained from third-party sources is believed to be reliable, though its accuracy is not guaranteed. Opinions expressed in this commentary reflect subjective judgments of the author based on conditions at the time of the publication and are subject to change without notice. Past performance is not indicative of future results.